and hopefully we will see a decent Marcus Rashford. But this is how Aston Villa shared the news, by the way. We're going to have a look at a little bit what they've got to say. And very, very short and simple. Aston Villa's delighted to announce the loan signing of Marcus Rashford from Manchester United. The England international, capped 60 times by the Three Lions, joins Villa on a deal until the end of the season. Rashford has scored 138 goals in over 400 appearances, having come through the ranks at Old Trafford, and has lifted the Europa League, 2 FA Cups, 2 League Cups with his boyhood club. The versatile forward who can play anywhere along the front line has also netted 17 goals in an England shirt and has represented the country at 2 World Cups and 2 European Champions. Welcome, Marcus, with the first picture of him in an Aston Villa shirt. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great signing for Villa, to be perfectly honest. I think that it hasn't worked out United, and I don't think United fans are going to be too upset that he's left. But I do think this is a terrific signing for Villa himself, and I do think that he's going to do very well there, in all honesty. So, and what will be interesting, more to the point, is Unai Emery's now got the opportunity to go and basically fix Marcus Rashford, solve Marcus Rashford, get him playing to the best of his abilities, and kind of show that Ruben Amorim might have been the problem and Marcus Rashford's got no issue. So, in an official statement here, Marcus Rashford said the following. He said, "I would like to thank Manchester United and Aston Villa for making this loan deal happen. I was lucky to have a few clubs approach me, but Aston Villa was an easy decision." And saying, "I really admire the way that Aston Villa has been playing this season and the manager's ambitions. I just want to play football and I'm excited to get started. I wish everyone at Manchester United all the best for the rest of the season." And the photo of them there signing the contract. So he stuck to his word. He hasn't come out and badmouthed anybody. He hasn't come out and said anything. I mean, obviously it's a pretty standard statement. Now the hard work happens for Rashford. Now he's got to really go and try and prove Ruben Amorim that he was wrong and that he should have been backed. And very interested to see whether he can do that. And I mean, in terms of where Aston Villa, they had a joyful weekend. So, they lost to Wolves yesterday 2-0. Their next game is against Spurs in the FA Cup. And what a way that you could potentially make your debuts. Rashford up against Spurs in the FA Cup 4th round. Imagine if he goes and scores and sort of puts them into the next round and the likes of that. So he's got a perfect opportunity for a potential debut. And interested to see if they do give him a full debut, whether he'll start, for example, or whether he'll look to come off the bench. And I tell you what, Aston Villa are moving. They're very much looking at giving a real go at the Champions League. Marcus Asensio supposedly about to make a move in there as well. Was said to supposedly have a medical today, according to Fabrizio Romano. So they're making some big moves. United, on the other hand, well, we've signed Patrick Dorgu, and we've signed an 18-year-old, and we've signed a 17-year-old, Diego Leon. So we've officially signed 3 players. Only one that's really going to come into the first team squad. And unfortunately, the bad news as well is it sounds like any sort of deal from Matthias Tull is not going to happen, which was always a bit of a long shot, especially the fact that Bayern Munich wanted to try and sell him on a permanent and United more wanted him on a loan. But it would have been nice to have seen us try and get that kind of deal over the line where Spurs, fumbled and we yet got the move over the line. So it would have been nice to have gotten another attacking option as well. As I said, today we literally had Kevin Manu leading the line. And then we brought on Rasmus Højlund and Jasper Xerxes, and they looked pretty ordinary as per usual for recently. So, yeah, I mean, I sort of stayed out from doing a sort of post-match reaction. I don't want to go and be very reactionary and Ruben Amorim out and the likes of that, but it was a very tough watch today. It really was. I mean, it was awful football. It was a long match where nothing right happened. We never looked like scoring. And it kind of felt like another 2 steps back, So we're in a very interesting position at the club. We've now made a big decision. We've offloaded Marcus Rashford, which is a huge call to make. That we lost the game today. We're still spiraling in the league. Yes, we've got an FA Cup tie Friday, so a nice opportunity to bounce back. But we're not in a good situation. The Patrick Dorgu signing is a good signing. It's not a season-changing signing. And I think that's also kind of the issue at the moment. We're sort of talking about the fact that we've got so many issues and we haven't completely solved any of them, really. And it's an addition in a Heaven, for example, is a nice addition to the squad. But I don't think we're going to see him in the first team anytime soon. Maybe we will. Maybe I could be completely wrong. He might be full debuting on Friday. The fact that we did unveil him is quite interesting because we don't usually do that for players who are sort of in the junior levels, the likes of that. But we've signed a centre back and we've signed a left back. Now they talked about the fact that United view Aiden Heaven as a first team player. Whether we're going to see him this weekend, I'd be surprised. He's 18 years old. Whether we'll see him this season, I think we'll probably see him towards the end of the season, would be my gut feel. But don't think that he's going to play a massive role. And that's going to be our transfer window. Romano's got any sort of big updates on Matthias Tell, any sort of deadline day signs. I don't expect to see us suddenly go after a striker on the final day. I mean, gone are those sort of days. So a disappointing transfer window, all in all, to be perfectly honest. And again, I'm sad to see Marcus Rashford go. But at the same time, good to see Ineos being decisive. And that's the one good thing about this transfer. Well, the other nice thing is that some of his wages are off the books, although they're only covering about 70% of the wages, which doesn't really help us much. But it does mean that we've got some of his wages off, but also our squad's now thinner. Rashford's not been playing since December, but it's been noticeable that we haven't had that many options. Anthony gone as well. I mean, our attacking options at the moment, we literally have two players who can go up front in Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee. We tried Manu, it didn't really work. We don't have a lot of attacking options. We really don't. We've got Garnacho struggling in the 10 role. We've got Bruno Fernandes having to drop back into the midfield. Amad Diallo switching between playing in that 10 to sort of playing in that wing-back role. So we don't actually have a lot of players who can be we can use as our attacking threats. And it's so notable already that United are lacking goals and can't find any sort of potency in front of goals. And I just don't see how that's going to change anytime soon. I don't see where we find that fix. I don't see where all of a sudden United's going to suddenly flick a switch and Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund are going to start scoring goals every second game. So I don't see where our transfer window has strengthened us massively. Yes, we need a strength at left back. Luke Shaw is supposedly coming back. But we've let go of Anthony. We've let go of Rashford. Today we benched Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, so we're clearly not backing them as forwards. And we haven't even been... The only person we've been linked to is Matthias Tell, and that seems to have broken down. Schitt's Creek, I think, is probably the right word where we are as a club, because I just don't see how things change in a short space of time. And I know people are going to sit there and say Ruben Amorim needs his time, and he does. I'm very happy to go with that, and I'm very happy to say that we obviously can't make the big calls right now. He needs the transfer window and the likes of that. And we've now just lost Sandro Martinez to a potential ACL or something similar. It looked really, really serious. So all in all, a bad day. A bad day for United. And Romano's last update was 10 hours ago saying he was talking about Højlund and Zirkzee both on the bench. He said, while negotiating with Matthias Tell, still ongoing with Man United, pushing for a loan deal with possible buy option. No decision made yet by Matthias Tell in terms of whether he's keen to make the move or not. I'll be very surprised. If we were to get a little deadline day signing and get a player like that through the door. If we could, it would be a huge, huge start for next to Ineos. It would be a big move. It'll be a big vote of confidence thing from the fans to be able to go into the market within the last week, find a player who potentially fits a profile, bringing him in and getting a move like that done. Unfortunately, the more I say it, the more I think it's not going to happen because we're just not a club that can do that. We don't have a good history of being able to bring in a player like him in a short space of time and a move that makes it, especially if we can get him on loan. I think a loan deal for him would be absolutely tremendous. But I just don't see how we get it over the line. And I don't see how... I don't want to see us go spend money on a permanent deal. I think that's the main thing. So... And I just don't back us to be able to get just a loan. Because a loan's perfect, It gives us an opportunity to have a look at him. He comes in for... comes in for 6 months. If it works, you go look at a potential permanent deal. If it doesn't work, and also, Spurs will reject for 60 million euros. I mean, come on. it's for a player who went for like a third of that 2 seasons ago, has been awful this season and not scored any goals. Very, very weird situation to be in. So I don't think we're going to be able to get that move through, and that's going to really frustrate me. Let's obviously wait and see. Maybe might not. Maybe we'll see another potential deadline day signing. The fact that we've offloaded Rashford in those ways, we've offloaded Anthony. Maybe there is a potential money. We've only made call it 30 million, just over 30 million signing on Dorgu. So there should be a little bit of money left, but not a lot to be able to go into the market to find someone who's really available. And on transfer deadline day, you don't have options. You've got, clubs have got all the power. Selling clubs have got all the power. So I just don't see us getting anything over the line. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. We'll talk about this more in the morning show, so make sure you join us tomorrow. But until then, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we'll see you guys